Can I hit your vape, Matt?
Dan said, "Don't do that."
Yeah, don't hit the vape. No. Don't give it to him.
Why are
You
you?
just blow it
No,
on
no,
there
no.
and then
I wasn't gonna
give it
blow
back
it
when
on
it's
you.
done. Blow it that way, please, under the table. Well, the fan, it's circulating, so it might come back to hit him.
I feel like there was so
Okay,
much
vape
judgment
down.
in that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just hitting a vape one time.
Welcome to Sissy Boys, where we have a new Sissy Boys challenge. Oh, I didn't tell you guys about the Sissy Boys challenge.
No,
Okay, we have a new Sissy Boys challenge. Well, this is exciting because this is your first time hearing about it, just like them.
I can't wait.
We need to get to 1,000 subscribers, and if we hit that goal of 1,000 subscribers in the next 2 months, Cooper will stop smoking.
And we'll film a
No.
entire episode in tidy whities. All three of us.
Cooper, this would be great for us if we got to 1,000 subscribers.
That will not motivate.
I
me.
actually want to get to 1,000 subscribers more than ever to watch Cooper quit smoking.
Yeah. So
The fear of death motivates me.
if we get to 1,000 subscribers, Cooper will stop smoking.
If we get to
cigarettes.
1,000 subscribers, Cooper is not allowed to kill himself.
That's a good
That's
one,
already a rule. That's already in the books.
You won't fuck my wife. You won't fuck my wife.
We were
I'm
talking about
telling
Beyonce before. I think that I think that Beyonce does a little bit of stolen valor in terms of the gay community a little bit.
Yeah, it's a yes and no situation.
Interesting.
We've
It's an
talked about
improvisational
Beyonce
situation.
before on this
Stealing
podcast.
valor.
Yeah. I
Interesting.
went off
Beyonce?
about it. Yeah.
Oh,
Because she historically used
Oh yes, we did.
yeah.
Are there any
she-
straight guys that steal gay valor?
you.
Oh well, no, I don't play into it.
Oh, we literally made a promo video yesterday where Cooper says you're gay
said
now.
that.
and
Cooper
you
did
loved
that.
it. You
Okay,
approved it.
Dan, if you are not playing into stealing gay valor, then why do you work out?
Exactly.
To make your body look good as a man?
And why do you fuck women to
Interesting.
make gay men upset?
Yeah.
If you weren't trying to queerbait, you would just have sex with men.
Well, you got to stir the pot a little bit.
This is what's so insidious about the neo-queer baiting culture that we live
Right.
in, where Dan is like, I'm a straight guy. I have a
Right.
girlfriend. I work out to be
that
healthy.
I say that every single
You
episode.
say this all the time, and it's just all in this effort
Yeah,
to
do you
just
know
make,
anything else?
to just make gays chase you.
All they hear is maybe.
yeah.
You know, all they hear is there's a chance.
You're growing out a mullet, for God's sake. I did that 2 years ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, you're appropriating something that I did that people did 30 years ago.
Interesting.
So maybe think about what you do.
when I did grow out my mullet 2 years ago, which I kind of miss it, but the older gays would be like, you're not doing it right. Like real mullets, we didn't cut the front of our hair. We just pulled it back.
We didn't cut the front of our hair. We just pulled it back and then shaved the sides.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they were just like swooping it back.
Yeah.
we're
that
doing
is-
like a modern. We're doing
Yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah.
modern day mullet.
Who gives? They can go fuck themselves. But
See, exactly. He
Wow.
looks at
Older gay
older
men
gays and
can
he
go
says
fuck
they can
themselves.
die. Everything that happened to him was good.
that's not what I said.
Now I'm gonna
You
go
want them
work
to
out to make you horny.
You want
I
them to
didn't say
reinfect
that.
themselves with HIV?
No.
To fuck themselves?
Specifically with the mullet thing. Okay, my stance on mullets does not affect how I feel about the valor of Stonewall.
You're literally trying to get buff to distract people from monkeypox, and it's like this. Once again, it's just like this neoliberalism.
Okay,
that-
well, answer me this: if monkeypox was really an epidemic, would I be this strong? Think about it.
You're a psyop.
Would I be this strong?
You're literally hired by Joe Biden
Would I be this strong?
to be straight gay.
Hunter is training me. Me and Hunter are training.
The chief
guess-
of transportation, Poot beat a judge. Poot beat a judge.
As you like to call him.
As we know him, Poot beat a judge has hired you
Yeah.
as a psyop to be the straight male Beyonce and luring the
Okay.
gays to not get the monkeypox vaccine.
But no, seriously, are there any celebrity men who we need to put on blast for queer baiting?
Nick Jonas.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the biggest one, isn't it?
It is, yeah, for sure. But it's gay people's fault.
Is he queerbaiting?
Why
or
is
is he
that?
just?
No, he like very actively feeds into it and is like very aware. And I think he's done like some weird interviews and like
He
game
played a
show
gay
stuff.
character in a show that was very not watched called. Have I told you guys about the show Kingdom?
Oh, the Dan Donohue show.
What the fuck?
You walked
what is
into
the
the
show?
fire
I walked
zone.
right into that one.
Yeah.
It's called Kingdom. It's about an MMA guy, and it like follows him. But it's a show that very hilariously jumped the shark so incredibly early. By like episode 3, everybody's like pulling out guns and beating their wives, and I'm like, guys, where are we gonna go from here?
Just get into it.
You
know what I
really
mean?
capped out on this
Nick
show.
Jonas is in it?
Nick Jonas is in it. Nick Jonas plays a MMA fighter and is gay in the show.
That's what network was it?
It was like, I don't know, Bravo. I have no idea.
CISO?
Yeah, CISO. No, it was pre-CISO. It was like a while ago. Frank Grillo. Do you know who Frank Grillo is?
No.
He's in it too. He's like a guy who's been in like a lot of shit, but it's very much like we're macho, but we gotta learn how to talk about our feelings. But it never actually addresses like healthy coping mechanisms.
It's like a cheap boys Sopranos.
Exactly. It's like Sopranos for people who had frontal lobotomies.
Nick Jonas is gay. And he just hits his kid or
It's
something.
for people who are too dumb to watch The Sopranos.
Yeah, which is hard.
Well, it's for all those Italian Camp Rock fans. You know what I mean?
Right.
That want the heart. But
Camp Rock
Harry,
was Joe Jonas.
Aren't they all in it?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. That was the gayest response I've ever. I don't. Oh, I need to know
I was
the
only
cast.
jerking off to
of
one
Camp
of
Rock.
them.
Yeah, I
okay?
guess. Yeah, really.
There
That's
was only
literally
one I was focusing on.
I never saw the movie. I did enjoy the soundtrack.
It's like that, you know that study they do where they ask people to count the amount of times in a video people pass a ball, and then they have a gorilla walk across screen, and most of the people can't see the gorilla.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's you with beating off.
I mean, he said it was such a gay. He didn't even watch the movie, but he loved the soundtrack.
You're
Camp Rock.
voice I hear inside my head. The
Yeah, that one was-
singing.
Harry Styles does a lot of stuff where he's like, I'm wearing a dress now, and it's like Young Thug did this before, Andre 3000
So long
did this
before, and by the way, looks so much better
it
in
looks
it.
so much
The
better.
worst part about Harry Styles is how fucking ugly he looks. He went to the
Okay, well,
Grammys wearing.
I think he's a very handsome man.
No. He is a very attractive person, objectively. Not for me, but like to the Grammys, he wore like a yellow checkered sweater vest, like this sort of Clueless throwback, and then a pink fluffy. Do you know what I'm talking about? The scarf. What is it called? It looked like he walked in boa. It looked like he walked into like a 99-cent store,
Like a Party
and was
City.
like, "This looks gay."
Well, that's what, and then it's fun. It's all
It's like at least have good style,
right. Well, he easily could have, but that's the thing. I think that he knows it'll get more like attention if it looks bad, because what you're gonna have are people like sensibly being like, "Well, this is," people judge other people what they wear to the Grammys and like the Emmys and shit like that. Like
yeah, I
that's
guess
a
it's
very
a
normal
stick
thing.
it to the man thing where he's like, "Fuck it, I like this pink boa."
But he knows it'll rile people up more than if he were to wear a really nice dress, because there's more argument there. Because I've heard people say what you're saying about what he wore, but then people who are like, he should be able to wear whatever he wants and fuck you, will get riled up at that, where it's like, no, it's fine for a man to wear a dress and whatever he wants, but also it's just very normal to comment on what people are wearing to a star-studded red carpet event. You're walking on a red carpet with what you're wearing. It's like, it's very normal for people to be like, oh, I like this, and oh, I didn't like this. And it sometimes, I mean, if you're like, oh, you're wearing a dress, fuck you, it's like, yeah, you're an asshole for sure. But also, if you're like, you have to like not only say it's okay to wear a dress, which I think is a very normal thing, but you also have to say his particular dress looks great. And it's like, why?
Yeah, no, it looks horrible. Timothée Chalamet dresses like very dapper to all award shows. He has a great stylist, and it looks very queer. People have said he's on the spectrum.
On the
Sexually, not neurodivergently.
Yeah.
But
He has a pretty mild
the
case of
biggest
gay.
the biggest queerbaiter who is like canceled now, but who I can't stand is James Franco.
Oh, interesting. He's the queerbaiter.
Oh my God, he's so obnoxious. He's obsessed with gay people, and he's obsessed with directing movies about gay people. He made a movie called Interior Leather Bar. Like, you know, it's int.leather bar, like it's a setting of the scene.
Yeah.
And it's about like gay leather bar culture, and he's gay in it, and like, but he's not gay. You know,
Right.
he was making women let him lick their pussies in short films because it was art, you know.
Right.
But for some reason, it's like fascinating.
If you
to
say
him.
it's art, it's like, okay, but in the interior leather bar thing, did you suck a guy's cock because that was what you were playing in the movie?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, so it's like, it's such fucking grandstandy bullshit to be like, well, I just thought it was part of the artistic. And it's like, oh, and it just happens that requires you to eat a woman's pussy.
He actually, he had he used like body doubles, so he would actually put in a very large clit and pretended like he was sucking a cock.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's CGI.
yeah. It wasn't CGI.
It's real.
Yeah. He brought in James Cameron to. He is actually just eating a hot dog, but he brought in James Cameron's team to make it look like a huge uncut cock.
That would be funny if like he makes all these gay movies, but to get
The budget
but,
is
like,
$60 million, and it's like
to get through it, he like needs pussy on the set.
Yeah,
So
he
he's like,
needs. It's like,
I'm weak.
oh, yeah.
I need pussy.
It's like what people say about Tom Cruise doing like 1,000 takes where it requires him to run 100 meters, so by the end of it he is dead. But for James Franco, it's like having to be not around an exposed pussy for more than 20 minutes.
I've been gay all day.
Oh God damn it!
I've been gay the whole time.
Where's a woman I can make feel uncomfortable for a second? I need to fucking relax.
James just needs a guy like Matt to just be there, and he's like, I have this new thing, like I have this new movie called Interior Leather Bar, and then Matt's just like, you're not gay.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
Right.
Okay, so I should just make a terrible adaptation of a Jack Kerouac book?
Right. Yeah.
Is that what I'm supposed to do?
I mean, that's the thing. It is also a bastion of people with no fucking talent to be like, I'm going to make a big statement. And it's like, no. It's like the movie Nope that's getting really good reviews and shit. Like, there's undertones and there's, like, messages in it, but the fucking core of it is that it's a good movie.
it's a good, fun movie.
And, like, that's what... but people will be like fucking bad at what they're doing and then circumvent their lack of talent by being like, well, I'm going to actually now make big statements.
Yeah, totally. It's
like, no,
just
it's
very
fucking-
funny. It's very funny, too, when it's a guy like James Franco, where it's like, you could have just been hot.
Yeah.
You could have not.
That's not enough for
sexually
people
assaulted
nowadays,
people.
though. It's not enough for people nowadays. You have to also be like smart and interesting.
But I think it's more so not enough for James and
Yeah,
it is
right.
for the world.
Something that's very interesting
Miles Teller, we don't know anything about him, but people agree that he's good looking. You
Yeah.
know? And nobody asks any more of Miles.
Yeah, although
his
he's a
job.
great actor,
And he's a great actor.
I
But I'm
really
saying,
like
yeah,
him.
beyond that, nobody's like, but why
What
is
are you
Miles
bringing
Teller
to
not
the
at the
table?
UN? You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares. But then you have a guy like James Franco that's like, I should go to Congress, you know, and you're like,
there should be some hot people at the UN. People would pay attention. There should be like designated, like how there's different countries represented. There should just be one table that's just like fuckable.
It should just be the
puss
hottest.
end.
Emma Watson was the UN representative.
Oh, that's awesome. I would
Yeah.
not sexualize her because she was an actual UN representative. What I would do is make a separate table for people specifically to be sexualized there.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of fun. Sort of like the Miss World competition, but it's for the UN.
yes.
Miss and Mr. I need both.
We want to know
groups
that you
represented.
can operate in a political setting and look good in swimwear.
God, that would be
Oh,
so
yeah.
cool if every single country gave their hottest person.
Oh yeah.
we
That
just
would be
gave them.
Well, no, I'm saying not gay. They're, you know, but I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
no.
whoever the
But
hottest
it's like
person
we
in
selected
America
them
is.
to be the rep. I mean, that's how things have worked for a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Okay, one note on James Franco. I read Jud Apatow's book, Sick in the Head. Are you
Yeah.
familiar with this book? It's
Sure.
like him doing interviews. It's actually a fascinating book. He does interviews when he was a kid to these huge comedians, and then he does them again once he's a very successful adult.
That's awesome.
It's a great book. I have it. I don't work for him. My friend was offered a job to work as him as an assistant. He was paying $10 an hour. So he
Judd was
sucks.
paying $10 an hour.
Yeah, under the table. He fucking sucks.
That's queerbaiting.
Really
but
sucks.
one thing that was interesting in the book, his assistant said to my friend, "Do not work for this man. I cry every day at the end of my job."
Wow.
But that being said, I would love to be in a movie that you do.
Yeah, you would love to be
and-
in a. Yeah, listen, if I can work for you in a capacity where I get paid millions of dollars, I think you're a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Judd,
if you
fuck
guys
you.
need some outtakes from the movie Bros, I'm happy to play bar patron number 17. But in the book, Sick in the Head, he talks about how when he was making Freaks and Geeks, which is Seth Rogen and James Franco's first time on screen,
right?
he was looking for very unattractive, weird-looking people, and that's why he cast James Franco, because he thought he had such a weird, asymmetrical. But he cast him because he thought he was ugly, and then when the show came out, everyone was like, "Who's
we
this
want to fuck
fucking
this
hot
guy?" Yeah, but I mean, I think that's why there's like the idea of what hot people are and then what people are actually attracted to, and I think there's a big gap between that, and I think there still is.
Yeah, I mean, most supermodels have like, or not supermodels, a lot of models have a very alien-esque look to it, where it's like they catch your eye. You're not necessarily like, oh, that's a blonde bombshell, but you're like, oh, that person looks interesting.
Right.
Well, now the big thing is that like hot is an energy, which is funny because that's like always been true, but like people just sort of kind of vibed with it. You know what I mean? Like in the 70s, like guys could have some weird faces, but they'd like put on, you know, like a suit and then they'd, you know, try and look good and have a certain energy and they'd fuck, you know.
Charles Bronson, I don't know if he was actually a sex symbol or not, but he would like have very sexy moments in his movies that made me think maybe people were attracted to this.
Yeah, is he in movies?
There's always
Charles Bronson?
This is not the boxer who killed people and went to prison.
No.
What am I thinking of? The Tom Hardy film where he plays a guy named Bronson?
That's yeah, I don't know what that is.
That guy's name is Charles Bronson.
But he's named after no. Charles Bronson is a action star in like I think the 70s and 80s and shit.
Yeah.
But he looks crazy. He looks like a caveman with a mustache. He's like very like
okay.
Yeah. That's what he looks like.
Let me see him. But people like that.
I like him, because I kind of look.
People like this.
I can at times look a little bit like fucking ogre-y, and I think it gave kind of hope to ogreish men like me.
It's rugged. They describe him as weather-beaten.
Weather-beaten, yes, that's what he look. Yeah, like
it's like he's seen things. He's been through.
Exactly.
He like climbed Everest.
Right.
That dick has scales on it. But now it's like there
He
was
died
like
of respiratory failure.
Oh, I'm
Cooper,
sorry.
Do you want to be like him?
Yes.
Sorry, Charles.
We're
I
talking
love
about
your
how he's
movies.
hot right now. Yeah. There's like that one article that woman wrote where she was like, one day I realized hot is an energy, so I just started taking videos of myself eating salad online. And then you're just reading it and you're like, I don't really understand. Like, are you fucking? We're talking about being hot.
Right.
Are you fucking? What's the end of this article should be now I'm fucking all the time. If it's not, what are we talking about? Just eating salad? People used to understand that hot was an energy and then they would use it to go fuck. What are they doing now? Just being hot?
Yeah.
Online? I lost you guys.
I lost. Yeah, you lost us.
Well, my cat hit
All
the
right.
camera.
I don't know what you were
if
talking
it's
about.
fine.
Yeah, really. The podcast just kind of stopped. Lewis started eating a granola bar. Fucking Zelda played with the tripod.
Well, you were talking about someone eating a salad, and I didn't get the point you were making.
I didn't
a hot
understand.
girl was like, I want to eat a salad online because I'm hot.
Her whole thing was like, I was eating a salad, and then one day I realized this is hot. And then I took a video of myself eating a salad, and it went viral. And then this started all these other videos I made of me eating salads. And it's showing that you can be hot when you're doing normal stuff because hot is just an energy.
Lewis, just take it out of the wrapper, and then it's just one noise, and then it doesn't have to be continuous.
I felt like I wasn't allowed to say anything because we're still not paying Lewis, and I was like, I can't get
Right, yeah.
To be honest, but yeah, she said it was one of those articles that was just somebody makes a bunch of videos and goes viral, and then they write an article about it as if it's like a whole thing.
I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, this woman was already hot, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this
So
woman
it's
could have been
completely not proving.
She
that
could have been
high is
buying
an energy.
groceries.
Right.
She could have been digging dirt.
But I guess she was like, well, but there's plenty of hot women online that aren't like famous, you know, that don't go viral. They're just incredibly hot. I know a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I guess that what she was saying is, I felt like eating the salad was hotter than taking like a picture of myself in a bikini.
It's like showing that there's an energy to it. Exactly.
It's also showing that people have like weird kinks and stuff, and that's probably what she actually tapped into.
Yeah.
But then she was like, well, it's more of an energy, and it's like, I don't think anyone's... I think that this is more of just some people are... I mean, muckbang and stuff has been big forever, and there always has been...
hate that.
Some form
Is
of
muckbang
like...
people eating food?
Yeah, people eating food on camera, and it always, or like often does have...
Sexual connotation.
often, not always. Completely not always. But I remember when I was younger and muckbang wasn't really a thing. I went to this museum exhibit because my friend's mom... This was when I was like 13 or 14. My friend's mom worked at a museum. And one of the exhibits was like showing muckbang. And it was like, at least my initial exposure to it was like, oh, there is like a sexual thing to this.
Question. Would you rather watch muckbang or gangbang?
Gangbang.
It depends who is in which one. I don't think I have a initial preference to either.
Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson's in the gangbang?
Yeah.
Or doing the muckbang?
Both.
Who else is in the gangbang?
Charles Grodin.
Charles Bronson, Charles Grodin.
Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
The boy.
Oh, then muckbang.
Okay, Cooper, you really...
Minus the boy.
you didn't give it an option anymore.
The people who make mukbangs should be shot.
Why do you feel that way?
Gross. It's
To
so
you,
gross.
to you, yeah, to you, sure.
It's definitely, I would
Why
say
do you
it's
watch it?
80%
It's
sexual.
so
I would say that.
gross.
Who can? I mean, yeah, but it's a institution.
There's this there's this Asian girl.
I'm saying like there are so many people that disagree with you. It's crazy.
I know. And that's crazy that they disagree with me.
I don't
Because it's
I don't
so
agree with you.
Do you
yucky.
watch the
It's
girl who
fine.
eats the giant snails?
That doesn't gross you guys
And they're
out?
like, the snails are like this big, and she'll bite it,
And
and,
then
it
the
shoots
juice.
water everywhere.
Wow.
It's so, it freaks me out every
Yeah.
time. But it
They
is,
look like
that one is
dicks.
obviously very, very sexual because it's
Right.
phallic looking, and then she bites it, and there's water spraying everywhere.
Right.
But,
I
oh,
don't
God,
like it.
whatever that thing tastes like, I don't want to know.
Well, I'm
It's-
sure she likes it, and she's making $1 million a month off of doing it, and that's great.
I'm proud of her.
If people like it, they like
She's
it.
my daughter, and I am so proud of her.
It's so yucky.
You're negative. You're being
just so
negative.
yucky.
You're negative.
You're being
towards
sex
anything.
negative.
Yeah, you're yucking people's yums.
It's just hard to be positive.
She's trying to
You
enjoy
just looking
delicious
at people
snack.
just with noodles like it's like what are we?
Oh,
what's going
Matt,
on?
can you turn up the volume and play the yuck your yum button?
There's the one guy that got like obese from
Wait,
it.
will we be able to hear it?
No. Also, we don't.
Is that it? Oh, okay.
Thank you. Applause for what I said. There's that one guy online who he started off skinny and then he like chose to become fat and now he's...
Did he choose to, or was it just he was putting in too much work?
Well,
Did he choose to, or
think
was
he
his mom
I think
Monique
he
from
realized
the
that
Movie
mukbangs made him money and then he publicly was like, I'm just getting fat now, and now he's like fat, and it's very sad.
Are you guys?
But now he's like obese. He's like his health is in critical.
Are you
condition.
familiar with gainers? Are you familiar with this concept?
No, tell me.
Guys that get big?
Gainers. They are people. It's come up a lot recently because when I first moved to Los Angeles, there was a guy that I went on a date with, and he had also graduated from a Christian college like 10 years before me. And, I didn't really have any gay Christian friends. And so it was interesting hearing his story, and he was a producer, and I was like, oh, this is fascinating. And I really liked him, and I wanted to spend more time with him. And then he ghosted me on irrelevant. He was probably 160 pounds at the time.
Okay.
Haven't seen him in 7 years or whatever. Walks into the bar. He's very large.
Okay.
I
Nothing wrong with that.
look him up online. His whole account is about how he's a gainer now. He now weighs 360 pounds. He's gained 200 pounds since then. And there's an entire community of gainers and chasers, and it's a very sexualized. It's like a fetish.
Yeah.
Where what they want is someone to come over and force feed them like 24 donuts and like rub their stomach, and it's like a sexual thing. But this guy is going like, it's really dangerous at that point. Like this, like I can't imagine that. You know, what is it like when that person sees a doctor where it's like, hey, could you stop for like this person probably is not even hungry, but they're upset, and they're like, one of their captions was like, I've always been goal oriented, can't wait to gain more weight. He's at 365
Yeah,
pounds
but that strikes
now.
me as someone who understands the risks of their behavior. You know what I mean? I don't think that I don't think that you're doing that thinking like, oh, this is the best thing for my health. I think that that's part of the sexual appeal to it, is like, I think that a lot of people are attracted to self-destructive behaviors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
understand that he's making a terrible decision.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Well, yeah.
I thought you were trying to say like, well, I think he's got it under control.
Well, but what's a terrible decision? Because if you completely understand, okay, my decision is going to detrimentally affect my health, and you choose to do it anyway. Now, I don't know if he has some sort of like
he had open heart surgery before I met him.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Again, what I'm saying is like, if you understand the risks of your behavior and you choose to do it anyway, it's like, yeah, that's your choice.
One could equate it with something as destructive as smoking cigarettes, or I don't know.
I know it's a bad idea, exactly.
Okay.
And it's a bad decision. And
Okay.
even though I know that it's a bad decision, I still make it because I'm addicted to cigarettes, but it doesn't make it a good decision just because I know that. Or it's like, if you want to talk about like some kind of like objective good and bad decision, I think health is a pretty solid marker. If you do something that kills you, it's probably a bad decision. He's slowly killing himself.
I choose to wake up every day.
He can think about what he's doing the entire time, but
Every day brings me closer to death.
slowly killing himself. And so it's hard to call it a good decision. It's his own
I'm
decision.
not calling it a good decision either, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know how it could be a bad decision if you're doing it like with full knowledge of the repercussions, which I guess we don't know if he does have that.
Yeah, I think it's a bad decision because I don't think it's going to end well.
With this
And
particular
I think that's
person,
becoming more and more inevitable.
Neither is like doing stand up, you know.
But but the reason this is different, I'm saying, is because of health. Because health is you die, where it's like, okay, maybe stand-up's not a good decision because I could end up living a life that's not universally accepted as a successful life. You can find a lot of different ways to be happy within that. When it comes to like, oh, I'm having a heart attack, it's like, maybe I made the wrong decision.
But tons of shit gives you heart attacks. Like, tons of shit is like risky or bad behavior. But I'm saying if he knows that, but it like turns him on to the point, or he like feels like the juice is worth the squeeze, then that's kind of
your
his
argument,
choice.
Dan, is that it's his life, and if he wants to do things that make him happy but end it early, that's
I mean,
not
I've
necessarily
just
a
seen
bad
it from a
thing.
bunch of people
Yeah.
in my life. I've seen tons of people make that kind of decision.
Know
and
a lot of gainers.
I agree.
not specifically gainers,
He's
but
like, I come from a family.
it's like fucking Cooper. You watched those documentaries about the F1 drivers and the rock climbers and shit, and it's like
Sure.
as rock climbing specifically, because F1 driving is so financially lucrative. That you could make an argument like, oh well, he's not making money from this or whatever, even though I think that doesn't really matter. But let's look at the rock climbers. It's like those people don't make a lot of money and are putting themselves at arguably more risk than him, because like I don't know what their life expectancy is compared like free climbers compared to people, but they love doing it, and that's their prerogative. And it's like, sure, it looks a lot cooler because of our standards of like health and wellness, because they're fucking jacked and cut and they're doing athletic shit, but it's like their life expectancy is pretty much just as low as like this guy's when you look at it. So
I mean, yeah, I see that point. It's just I feel like the gainer thing is such a
you have no idea how hard this guy's coming. You have no idea. You can't even fucking fathom how fucking fat and hard this man is coming.
He shoots across the room.
And it's like all that.
It's like an 11-foot
to
cum
bust
shot.
as hard as possible. Are you kidding
You
me?
get triple bypass surgery just to bust.
Oh yeah, I would take it in a heartbeat.
No, you
Triple
wouldn't.
nut for a triple
No, you
bypass
wouldn't.
surgery.
I wouldn't have many of them left.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do it. You would never.
If I was turned on enough by it,
You
it's like
wouldn't
I
do
just
it.
don't know. What I'm saying is I don't know what it's like to be that guy, and I don't know how good it feels to get like fed and fucked because that's not my mentality. But like,
I don't know if this should make me sad, but I do have an inclination from having known this person and knowing things about this person that the reason that they are a gainer is because they didn't feel sexually desirable when they were at a healthy weight for themselves, and so they found a niche where you'll find people who will flock towards you.
and I'm not saying that in the same way rock climbers, I'm sure to have that level of like danger seeking behavior. I'm sure a lot of them go through like high rates of trauma, and I'm sure like there's always gonna be like in high risk things, probably like reasons or like how people got into the high risk behavior that very well could be like something that should be treated rather than doing the high risk behavior. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying if that's your form of self-treatment and you're not seeking out that treatment and people in your life aren't pushing you towards it enough, it's like your body, your choice. That's what I guess that's my point. Is your body your choice?
I think that's true. And goddamn, would I love to eat 24 donuts guilt free?
Oh my god, and then get fucked in the ass after?
I think
Ugh,
I feel like
sounds
the
messy.
guilt. I feel like the guilt is a part of it. I feel like that's part of the.
Oh, probably.
Maybe,
I
yeah.
think it's
That's
probably
also-
unhealthy on a lot of levels.
That's also kind of the thing is there's like a sad like I'm a piece of shit under all of it where it's like the rock climber I think is just like I don't give a shit.
I don't know though.
But,
I would
know.
argue that you can psychoanalyze everything where maybe that person is saying no matter what I do in life, I could risk my life free climbing and my dad still won't be proud of me. And it's like this person, on some level, everything we're doing, I'm doing stand up because I'm seeking some sense of validation or approval, or it makes me feel good when I'm, when people laugh. Like, and so you can kind of twist everything to be about how it's like not healthy, which is, it's kind of a like basic Christian principle, the idea of like original sin, where it's just like everything we're doing is because we're selfish, bad people.
Right.
Yeah, I mean I'm not gonna sit here and act like I make good decisions. I would say probably 80% of mine are detrimental to myself. To have a nice time or to run away from something. But it's
You fucked
very,
a comedy club waitress
it's-
raw and then busted inside.
It's very hard
Recently?
to look
No,
at.
long time ago.
Oh.
Long time ago.
Did I come inside?
Yeah, you told me you did.
Nice.
He was there.
That's cool. But I mean, it's just hard to look at a guy that's like commit. It's also when people sort of commit their lives to a fetish. It's like there's more to life than
That
sex.
makes me really sad.
It makes
where
me sad.
it is,
where it's like your whole thing is
It
sex.
seems like there is some sort of sex addiction thing going on there, where
Yeah.
sex is great and should be fun and enjoyable, but it is really like that's so limiting.
yeah, it's like go like have a career and a nice life, and then if you like getting punched in the face in bed, you do that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's also like if your fetish is like I want to be really fat, maybe just be like maybe I shouldn't.
Can I say
Maybe you know what I mean? Like maybe that's just one where you don't fulfill that desire. If you're like, I should gain 200 pounds to come.
Can I say I showed this to a friend, like this person's profile? I can't remember. We were on the topic about it. It's a friend, it's Jonathan, our friend, and he was obsessed with this idea of like dating a gainer.
Yeah.
And it was like turning him on. And he was like, I just want to be able to smack their large belly and like rub up against
This
them.
has also existed outside of the gay community as well. It's
No.
Yeah, totally.
Only gay people like
Yeah, no,
gainers.
it's a big thing.
So-
Guys like
Stop
to buy
trying
their
to take this
girlfriends.
too.
So it's like but I'm saying it's like kind of a universal, like the idea of being a gainer is a universal thing. And if it's something,
Yeah.
here's the thing: if it's something that multiple people do, like unrelated to each other, so it seems to be like sort of this inherent in the I don't even know if this is the right word, but kind of like in the zeitgeist thing where people will kind of do it on their own unprompted. I feel like it's an internal, there's some sort of like a biological imperative to it in one way or another that I think is just hard to avoid. And I think if you're like sexually attracted to that or you're turned on to that degree, it's like, I guess that's what I'm saying is to us, we're like, hey, just don't do that. But it's like, if this is the one thing that makes you feel self-actualized, which, I mean, there's weirder shit that you could do to make yourself feel self-actualized. Some people run for president to feel self-actualized. And it's like, I think that's also a crazy person and fucked up.
Sure.
But if your whole thing is, well, I need to be fed to the point of like being 400 pounds and have someone fuck me to feel, it's like, yeah, do it. Great.
I mean,
do it.
I'm not stopping anybody. It's just not listen, I'm body positive. I don't think I'm purposefully
Really? Because it doesn't seem like you are.
I don't think I'm purposefully gained 200 pounds positive. I think that's tough for me. It also must be interesting, like, if you've been struggling with weight your whole life, and then some guy's just like, dude, I'm really going to try and put on 260 pounds. And you're like, fuck you. And then he gains 260 pounds, and then he's like, I'm fucking all the time now. And then you've just been like 300 your whole life, and you're like, where's all this fat guy pussy that I'm not, like, what's going on? Like, this is a thing?
Right. It's like how black music artists got no respect forever, and then Elvis starts doing it, and he's like, I'm the most popular guy in the world.
Exactly. He's stealing fat valor.
Interesting.
There's all these big fellas that have been big their whole life. And then you got these guys coming in, goal-oriented people.
160.
Gaining.
Who come in with a motive, though? Like, they don't... I don't know. It's a general, like, problem everywhere. Like, I have a friend who I think is very, very attractive, and he's not, like, doesn't have a tradition... Like, he doesn't have, like, a athletic build, and he thinks he's, like, undesirable because of that. And I'm like, no, so many gay guys are, like, obsessed with guys who, like, have a little something extra.
It's like, yeah, and that is an amazing thing, because then you can see that your body is not bad. You're like, this is how I look. People like it. That feels great. And it's like that fella, when he was 160, you know, it would have been nice if he could have had that moment at 160, you know, and been able to love himself without having to, like,
yeah, but I mean, you put that
that
argument on a lot of shit, and it kind of falls apart.
Why?
Yeah, like, oh, you know, somebody gets, like, whatever, elective surgery or starts hitting the gym to change their body, and you go like, oh, well, if only you could have felt good at your original. It's like, yeah, well, they didn't, so they fucking changed it.
Yeah, but let's talk about the difference between going to the gym and purposefully gaining 200 pounds.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm saying...
One's good, one's bad. I don't know what else to say.
But you wouldn't say that about a woman who gets elective surgery, right?
That would I say it's bad?
Yeah.
Not really, no.
No. So it's like, and it's fucking risky. Like, people die under the knife all the fucking time.
Yeah, but that's like, it's more of an accident when that happens. Like, if you gain 200 pounds, you get a heart attack. Like, that's a pretty solid correlation between, you know, what you did and then what happened.
They're different, but I'm just saying, I think it is a little bit like maybe stigma attached to the, like, gaining weight thing as it relates, because we've brought up examples of other high risk situations as high risk or more high risk than gaining a bunch of weight, but we're fine with those. But the gaining weight one, we kind of go like, oh, well, fuck this person.
Yeah, my answer to that is correct.
Correct.
That sadly is my answer. Yeah, because I don't know. It's just like, is this fulfilling? You know what I mean? It's like, when they die, are they going to be like,
well, I say
this is why I was here.
I say this as being a person who does risky shit. Like, I like hiking. I like I like fucking rock climbing. I like riding my bike through LA. It's like all of these are very high risk behaviors. But because those things make me look hotter, people are like, that's cool.
Does doing heroin fall into the same category?
Yeah.
As what?
But like, if I started doing heroin, you wouldn't be like, well, like, it makes them fucking feel good, so fuck it.
It depends. I would have to have a long conversation with you about it, right?
No, you wouldn't. It's heroin. You can just say it's bad.
We could sit down and
I don't
talk.
know. I know one person.
If you were like, this is my kink and it makes me come, I would be like, well, I'm not going to be able to stop you.
As long as it makes you come, it's healthy.
All right.
No, you made a very good point there. You made a very good point, because you're right. If you started doing heroin, I would be like, I want to stop you from doing this. But I guess, but that was part of my point too. Is like if it also depends on the people in their life and who's around them. So if the people in this person's life, and maybe those people aren't around, maybe this person doesn't have a support system, and that is sad and fucked up. And then whatever that person does is sort of the result of that lack of support system. But a lot of people are there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say the circumstance would largely depend on our understanding of like evidence in history. Have we ever seen someone who is using heroin that is like feeling happy and fulfilled in their life?
I guess the lead guitarist of the Rolling Stones guy had a pretty good run with it, and now he's fine.
Is he sober now?
Keith Richards, is that his name?
Yeah.
I think he is sober now.
I don't know if he was like...
But I actually don't know if he's sober. He might still do a little heroin.
That would be interesting.
No, I think he like smokes
But
weed,
like in our history of large people, like, John Candy was like a huge guy. He like... I believe he had like quite a fulfilling life. It was cut short by what, heart attack?
Yeah. I mean, it's like same with Chris Farley. It's like Chris Farley, I think, had like a deep kind of sorrow in him that like drove him to try and make people laugh, but then he also hit it with drugs, and then those drugs killed him.
Right.
Yeah. And with food. All his friends say this. It's
right.
Like he would, very indulgent. It's the thing with the gainer thing is I know I've come out very anti-gainer. Listen, my thing is not like, don't do it, that's horrible, but I can't put a cosign on it. Where it's just one of those things where I'm like,
everybody has stuff like that.
Too bad.
We all have stuff like that where we aren't telling people don't do that, but we have personal apprehension towards it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, and everybody has that stuff.
Mine is getting a fast pass at Disneyland.
And with that...
That's not okay.
No, a season pass, sorry.
And with that, we will go to Gay Straight Pan. Cooper, would you like to start us off with Pan? Can you think of anything, Pan, that you've done recently?
I don't know. A lady at work said I was rude to her.
And so it's Pan because you were rude to a woman, which is a straight thing to do, but it hurt your feelings, which is a more Pan thing.
In the moment that I was being rude to her, I was speaking more from my homosexual side.
Interesting. And how did that pan out?
What do you mean? What did you do?
Nothing. She was just trying to park in a place that she couldn't park, that I needed to park cars, and I was like, hey, you can't park there. And then you tell someone no,
bitch,
and then they ask you. Now, I started off nice. I had to yell because she was far away from me, but I was like, you can't park there. And she's like, he said we could park here for $16. I was like, you can't. She's like, so we can't park here? And I was like, no. And she's like, so what is this for? And I'm like, it's for the Comedy Store. She's like, we're customers. And I'm like, you can't park there. She's like, so us as customers can't park here? And then finally I go, exactly. And then she goes, you're being really rude right now. And it's like, you know when you're at a job and then you tell someone no and then they ask you 7 more questions, so you tell them no 7 different ways, and then you get to the end and you're like, all right, I'm kind of done with this. And then they're like, you're being rude. And it's
that's a person who I think, if I were to just give my dumbass interpretation, was trying to make you do something rude.
Probably. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying she said I was rude.
You're not wrong. all you did was say exactly in like kind of a forceful way because you're busy. You're working a parking lot job. As far as Cooper's anger reports go, I think that's on the lower end.
It's on the lower end
of unjustified.
My boss didn't come out to look and laugh at it, which he does when I get mad sometimes.
Yeah, that's funny.
My boss likes to walk out into the lot when I'm having a hard night, and he thinks it's funny.
It is funny.
Well, who informed the lady she could park there for $16?
The valet guy that seemed to be trying to do his own little hustle.
Oh.
But they told us, they were like, it's a whole thing, but we're allowed to use part of the Ondas driveway.
Right.
And the other night we were using it, and then all of a sudden she's there, and he's like, he said we could park here. And I was like, girl?
Right.
Girl, he's a gainer.
Yeah, girl.
He just wants to buy 3 dozen donuts, okay?
He's just going to go shove those donuts on his dick.
I gotta say, let me just say, I feel like Gay Straight Pan is becoming difficult for you because sometimes you're just not doing Pan stuff. And Pan is a difficult thing to direct because there's not a lot of stereotypically Pan things.
I'm being pretty Pan now by just having a girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's pretty...
So
pretty
this is
LA.
your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay, because yesterday you said that you were dating.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant.
This changes things. I
That's a pretty gay response.
contested a parking ticket.
Okay, we have to stop. We maybe have to stop doing this at the end of episodes.
Why? I think
Because it's not. We're not actually doing. We're not actually saying for the last like 12 episodes.
No, I think that's the. I think that is
Yeah.
the point
But
of
Lewis,
it.
is it
that
funny?
in a way you're kind of breaking down
yeah.
stereotypes where it's like, what is gay, what is straight, what is pan.
Okay, as long as we have that.
it has the explanation behind it.
As
and
long
that's
as
what
we have
makes
that
it work.
explanation on it, please continue.
Yeah, I think it's funny.
Right? I think contesting a parking ticket was something very gay that I did yesterday. Have you ever contested a parking ticket? No, straight loser.
Did you do it in a gay way?
Absolutely. When I was typing out that complaint.
You just wrote "You won't break my
I
soul"
just had
over and over again.
yeah. I put on my 12-inch acrylic nails. I went I had no reason. I slept in front of a meter,
Right.
and I got ticketed. But I very
You contested that?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
poetically contested.
Yeah.
I just protest.
I am a gay woman in America. My life is hard.
They're like, all right, we'll give you $3,000. Just please stop. Just
Why are you at the
I'm
courthouse?
so sorry.
I'm a 29-year-old who has never once started a GoFundMe campaign. Please remove this parking citation.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, that was gay. I think I felt very gay.
Okay, I went to dinner. It's real straight of
Where
me.
did you go to dinner?
I went to dinner in an Italian restaurant with another couple.
That's very straight of you.
Yeah, it was pretty straight.
Were you with your
I was
girlfriend?
with my girlfriend. There was
Okay.
another couple there. And
this sounds straight as fuck.
And it was. What's that? It was a little worse than Buca di Beppo. but-
Olive Garden.
No. Olive
Olive
Garden.
Garden.
Buca di Beppo and Olive Garden occupy the high-end Italian restaurants
Now
in my
that
mind.
you explain you're with another couple, it makes sense. But I thought it was funny at first how it's like we both said stuff that you were like, well, that's not like gay or pan, and then yours was like, well, I went to dinner.
Yeah.
You know? Like that's the vaguest thing in the
he
world.
was trying
but
to
it's
make
a
a
double
point.
date.
I was trying to be funny.
Earth to
Yeah.
Cooper. He
Sorry.
was trying to make a
Yeah.
point.
Sorry.
Don't apologize, beautiful.
But anyway, subscribe. If we get to 1,000 subscribers, Cooper will have to stop smoking cigarettes, or I will promise the listeners every time I see Cooper with a pack of cigarettes, I will wrestle it out of his hands and throw it in the trash.
Well,
I love
they're
that.
very
And Cooper will
expensive.
fight back. Cooper's wily. He's wiry. He can run relatively fast. He's got big legs. He'll bite me.
I could see him putting staples inside the cigarettes when you grab them. It hurts you.
No, he's capable. But for 1,000 subscribers, where we will start to actually make money off of this podcast, I am willing to put myself in harm's way, and by harm I mean Cooper. I will put myself in Cooper's way.
Our producer Lewis had to walk here barefoot because he can't afford.
But that's his kink. That's part of his feeder.
He has
kink.
become a gainer.
Yeah.
I like making
pay
a
his rent.
deal. I love deals. Here's the deal.
Deal or
Yeah.
no deal?
Lewis, we'll put up a poll on the Instagram.
Yeah.
We'll say if we get to 1,000 subscribers, you want me to, one, quit smoking,
Yep.
or everybody gets a video of Dan punching me in the stomach as hard as he can.
Okay, great.
Whoa,
yeah, let's
whoa,
do that.
whoa.
Let's put that out there.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I think people will pick quit smoking.
You know what? I'm fine
Yeah,
with
they
that.
probably will.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Damn it.
I love you.
That was a great episode.
Was it?